Okay, so there are so many things I could tell you about the next speaker, somebody I know very well. I could talk about her expertise in business psychology and worldwide business intelligence. I could talk to you about her playfulness. And I've really watched her do some brilliant stuff in role plays. I mean, is she perhaps an international spy? Very interesting. And then, of course, there are her wonderful spiritual and philosophical beliefs. If you've spoken to her, she'll probably ask you about your animal totem. But that's not the story I want to use to introduce her. Instead, I want to tell you a story. It was a cold and blustery day. Yeah, one of those. We were on the deck of a North Sea ferry, traveling from Scotland to the Orkney Islands. We were enjoying the grey sky and the black sea. And we actually had a conversation about the sea, and maybe there's something strange about the two of us, but we both said we thought we might even like it more than some of the Mediterranean blues. But we had a life-changing conversation. Conversation went around faith, it went around play, it went around dance, and it went around toys. And it was a conversation that changed my life. It was a conversation which I thoroughly enjoyed in that blustery cold wind as we were standing on this deck. And there was a sequel to this particular story. But I'm not going to tell you that now. I'm going to tell you that later. Would you please welcome Landi Jac.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Nicola. Wow, thanks for that, Ian. I got my water stand. I was going to wear my jacket for you, but it's just too warm. So I'm just going to wear like this. I had a big banana half an hour ago, so I'm trying to pull my stomach in, but it's not working. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Mike's keynote and I'm going to dissect it for you. I'm going to share with you a lot of what we call worldwide business intelligence. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this for you before we get into Mike's keynote is that what do I really mean by worldwide business intelligence? Where do we get this psychology from? And where do we get this structure from? So I thought I'll share some of that with you. So me and Mike has worked out that we've traveled around the world 4.5 times per year. So we really get around. We get around because we want to know. We do not trust Google. We do not trust necessarily what other people tell us. So we go and find that information for ourselves. And we'll be bringing that information to you today. Basically what we do is we go from country to country to country to country. And in the last 3 to 4 years, we've been in, I've did this on per 14 countries, there we go, so 14 countries. And in the past 3 years, we've done 100 masterminds of 3 hours each. So what we'll be sharing with you today is 300 hours of dedicated research. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs don't do that. They Google something, they maybe sit in a meeting, they share some ideas, whatever. We go out there and we find out exactly what it is that the market needs. So we don't only do the research, we do the research in our exact audience. And who do you think that is? Huh? Correct. It's you. So we want to really share that level of intelligence with you here today so that you can actually use it in your own speaking business so that you can be more prosperous as well. So I want to share with you my view on education. And this is where a lot of people, unfortunately, well-meaning people, go wrong in their speaking businesses. So you get your education, you go to school, you go to varsity, and the basis of your education is knowledge. It's curriculum, right? It's something you've learned. And then you take that information that you've learned and then you go and apply that information. Now, there already most people get lost. They have the information, they got it from a well-meaning coach, they get it on Udemy, they get it on Google, they get it who else where, but they never go and apply it. They do it once, they do it twice, then they give up. And therefore, it's back to the drawing board. They go and get red line, they get education again, apply it once or twice, nah, not for them. Then they go back to education again, try it once or twice, not for them. So you keep stuck in the spiral, you never get further. Whereas we believe that the real education out there, and this is the future of the world, is you'll have your curriculum, your knowledge, you'll go and apply that knowledge over and over again. And then once you've applied that knowledge, something incredible happens with your brain. You start picking up on patterns. Meaning now you go, oh, you know, I've done that 100 times. I'm seeing a pattern between that and that. And my brain is starting to form those relationships. And this really is neuroscience, because then you develop what a lot of people call intuition. Then things become easy because you've taken that knowledge, you've applied that knowledge over and over again, and now your intuition is just expanding. And that, the green part, the intuition, is the part that I'll be sharing with you today in Dissecting Mike's Keynote. So the information you'll hear about today is used in 6 continents now. I'm really working hard on the 7th because more and more I'm heading for the north and for the snow. It's a calling for me. We use it for our Circle of Excellence members. Some of you are here in the room. We use it annually in our Bali Business School. We use it in our masterminds. We use it in international schools. I've listed all there for you. And this year we're taking some of this information and we're putting it through the Finnish educational system as well, so that you no longer only have access to this type of information, but so that you actually can start getting qualifications around that as well. So what am I going to aim to do here? I'm going to aim to take your universe and my universe and turn it into one world. So hopefully you'll be able to take this away and go and apply it to your keynotes, your presentations, so that you can be more prosperous and have more choice in your life. But I always tell my clients, you have to have a little bit of a story. And I'm not going to give too much away. Our time is a little bit limited, but I'll tell you something about me and Mike. About a few years ago, I said to Mike, if you can choose what you want to do every single day of your life, and physically, what would that be? Can you summarize that for me in 3 words? And Mike thought, what is it that I want to do? And I'm talking about physical things, you know, like speaking. Do you want to actually speak to people? Do you want to sit on your computer? Do you want to be building a click funnel? You know, what is it? Do you want to jog? Do you want to go to the spa? And Mike said to me, Landi, if I can speak and if I can write and if I can create every single day of my life, I'll be a very happy and fulfilled person. So why would you go and create any business or any product or any service around anything but that? So we walk away, we were a happy couple, and then I start thinking, so I wonder what's my 3 words? I haven't really thought about my 3 words. And I thought long, and I traveled with Mike around the world, 4.5 times, 4.5, met a lot of people, did a lot of things, looked at what people are doing, and finally I could only come up with 1 word. What do I want to do every single day of my life? What do you think that word is? Nothing. I want to do nothing. And I think what a lot of people are doing with their keynotes and their speaking, they're building a business with all these doings, with all this to-do list, whether it's your mindset. If your mindset can change from doing everything to building the type of business and life where you ultimately can do nothing so that you can do more of what you want, then you're on the right track. So here's the message for me today. Your education is wrong. It may not apply to all of you in this room, but most of your education in this room is wrong. This means what the schools has taught you, what other people have taught you, what you've learned from other people is not necessarily the correct information. And what we're going to bring you here today with this dissecting of Mike's slide is some of the right information, some of the right education that you can go and apply to make your impact in this world more powerful. So we're bringing you intelligence, we're bringing you architecture, and I'll bring in you some great psychology that you can use as well. So this is for you in the audience who want to have a message that really goes global and impact the world. If that's not you, then maybe go and have a tea. Okay, so here's the signs of a keynote. We have 8 slides there for you, or 10 slides. Now, don't look at this intelligence as 10 slides. Look at it as 10 sections. That means that as long as your keynote or your presentation, and remember, I'm talking now about a keynote or a presentation. If you're a parent and you need to give your child a big speech, this will work as well. So you need to set things up. You need to set up your sales presentation. You need to set up your keynote presentation. You have to set things up. Your conversation needs to be set up in a way that you are built here for success and not for failure. So you can take these 10 sections and you can go and apply it or insert it into your keynote and presentation the way you want to. So let's start here with slide 1. And remember, we're dissecting Mike's keynote, so I'll be sharing with you how this applies actually to what you saw in his keynote. Slide number 1. Are you ready? No? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. While you decide, I'm going to have a drink of water. Are you ready? Are you? Yes. Like how ready are you? Yes. Okay, slide 1. You need positioning. So you saw positioning with Mike. He used a video for positioning, but you cannot get a message across to people or get them to pay attention if you don't position yourself as an expert. And it's really important because we're now in the times, Mike has mentioned it, the audience and people really, really struggle to trust. They can't trust. And the reason why they can't trust is just go and look in your inbox. It's a nightmare, right? Everyone promised you 10 seats, everyone promised you this, whatever. So our market is saturated now. No one trusts anymore. So it's your job to help people trust you as an expert. And you're going to do that with positioning. So I've given you some ideas there. You can either have someone introducing you, that's the lion head there, and then Mike explained to you, once a person of authority introduces you, they're going to transfer that authority to you. You can use a video, there's another one. You can use audio, there's another one. Or you can use books. Books is very valuable to position yourself. You see a lot of people still with tables with their books on there. But unfortunately, technology has now taught us that we actually should all have Kindle books. It's not right. You need to have the biggest hard copy printed books that you can find because that will give people substance. And when you give them substance, you give them trust. So this is your positioning with Mike. We position him with his introduction video, so we make sure that there is a video that tells people about him, inspire people, tell people what he does around the world, and then also with Mike, we've used the book here as more authority. It's incredible. When we do these masterminds around the world, you always see people in our masterminds as they come in. We normally have 10. Then you see people coming in, and they sort of greet each other. Hi, who are you? What do you do? Oh, I do this. And you? I do that. And then they all stand there awkward, right? And then this one person come in, they don't say a word, they come in with their book. They have a book. And then immediately, everyone's attention is away from everyone in the room, and they just go to the person with the book. And they go, oh, what do you do? What do you talk? So that person is completely surrounded by people. It happens every single time. So that's why they are telling you in the speakers industry to write a book, but you want it hard printed because it's going to give you a lot of authority. It's going to give you a lot of positioning. So go and look at your slides and presentation and ask yourself, where in this have I built positioning for myself? And you want this to be relatively in the beginning of your presentation because this is a part that puts you on a pedestal. This is the part that puts you on the stage. It alleviates you. It helps your audience to look up at you. But now, as we all know, nothing can forever stay up, so everyone have to come down. So now that you've convinced them that you are an expert in your field and you've positioned yourself now properly, what's happened now in the mind of your audience, now they think you're too good for them. You've now alleviated yourself. So everyone's going, oh, you're so great, oh, you're an expert, oh. Now they think to themselves, oh, but they're so good, so therefore I can't really associate with them. So now you have to bring them down. You have to bring yourself down in order to have a heart connection with them. And the way in which you're going to do it, you're now going to tell your story. So just when people thought you're too good to be true, you go, oh, but that's not the way it's always been. I'm actually going to tell you where I come from. So a lot of people call this the hero journey, or it's now your story or your heart connection. But this part really is about them trusting you now that you're an actual human being. Because remember, in the positioning part, they've now heard, oh, this person has disqualifications, and, you know, if it wasn't for your wings, you're going to fly, and, you know, you're just so fantastic. Now the story, that hero's journey, helps people to trust you again. You'll see here I have a facey that's unhappy. This is, yes, I used to be unhappy, and I used to be, you know, like you, and I didn't make enough money, and then a thunderbolt hit me, and then now I'm happy. So you want to show transformation. This part shows people your transformation. If you don't show them your transformation, they won't trust you. It's like the weight loss industry, right? The weight loss industry go before picture fat, after picture skinny. No one can trust that, right? So you go before fat, after skinny. Yes, I am fat, now I want to be skinny, but to get there, it looks a little bit tough. So nah, I'm going to stay fat. So it's the same with your client, right? So you have to show the person in your audience your transition. First I was like this, then this happened, then I'm like that. So you have to make sure that that story, that heartfelt connection, that process of transformation is in there as well. With Mike, we did it with the following 2 slides. We actually built in a little bit more in there for him to be trusted as an expert, but I'm giving you examples here. So he shared there some of our freedom lifestyle. You know, we do a little bit of this, and then we do that, and then we go there, and blah, blah, blah. And then also for 3 years, we've done 100 masterminds all over the world. That is to get the right people to trust us. Now, here's a very, very good point. You don't want everyone to like you. Very, very good point. You don't want everyone in the audience even to trust you. You want to polarize, meaning your job, if you want to impact, is to get a very clear consensus in the room of people who like you and dislike you. So if you don't polarize people, you're going to end up working with very grumpy and demanding clients. You don't want that. So if you want to really build your life first and then a business around it, you're standing on the stage to help your audience decide whether they like you or not, and whether they trust you as an expert or not. And if there's 5 people in the audience that trust you as an expert and like you, that's where you go. You don't run around and, how was I? Was I good? Can I get along with everyone? Let's all be friends. That's not realistic. You're looking for the people who trust you as an expert and who like you as an expert. And you do it with your story about your life and this slide in here, this aspect of your life. Okay, I'm going to move on to slide 3. You have to have in your presentation, and you can use the sequence, by the way. The sequence is very powerful, but I like people to change the sequence around so that it fits into their presentation and way of doing things. But now you have to show or illustrate to your audience that they have a big, fat problem. There's a problem. You've identified that problem. And you have to give them that problem from your unique perspective. So Mike's problem that he proposed to you is that 93% of people are doing the wrong things right. So, you know, it means you're well-meaning. I remember in my corporate days, I used to go and do inspections in workplaces for CEOs about what people do with their time, and it's just shocking. It's shocking how we waste our time. Most people, if I slither behind their computer, like without you seeing me, and I watch what they do on a daily basis, I go, you have the most time in the world, because now you're on social media, now you get up, now you drink your coffee, now you again on social media, now you look at your plan, now you're on email, now you do this, now you do that, whatever. So it is proposing to you a problem. So in the same way, you have to propose to your audience a problem. So here's your problem. You can't have 700 problems, you propose a problem that they have. Another way that Mike brought that to you is to say that, you know, only a certain amount of speakers earn enough money actually to have a real good lifestyle. So some of you will associate with that problem, others won't associate with that problem. And now, what you want to do at this stage is you're not ready to propose the solution yet. So this is important. A lot of people propose a problem to their audience, and then they immediately after that propose to them a solution. You're not going to do that yet. Why? Because you've not got people's trust yet. It takes some time to gain people's trust. Think of you. You're not going to trust a person in 2 seconds. So here now, you have to get more trust. And you're going to do it with this slide by illustrating to people that you actually understand the market. So if you're talking on leadership, then you have to illustrate to people that there's reasons and a story why you can talk in leadership. How did you choose the topic? Some people went, let's see, it's a lovely morning, there's a sunset. Then they look around the hotel, and they see a book on leadership, and they go, oh, I'm going to talk about leadership. That won't have a global impact, right? People are looking for reasons that you are a leader in order for them to take leadership advice from you. So you have to illustrate it here in this slide. And the way we do it now, the way we illustrated Mike's understanding of the market is we brought up these 2 guys who's quite topical at the moment for the people in our target market. So if you're sitting here and you have no idea about the property industry and you don't watch these things, there's a very good chance you might not be in our target market. And then another one is Mike shared some stats. So it's incredibly useful for you here in your presentation to bring up stats. Why do you want to bring up stats in your presentation? Because the person in your audience has a brain. Yes, they have a brain. And that brain has in there a limbic part, and it has a prefrontal cortex in there as well. In other words, the people in your audience have emotions, and they also have analytical thinking ability. Now, if I could, I would have loved to go here to the top of the roof and install a brain scanner here above all of you. And then I would sit there like this, and I would look down on what your brains are doing as people are speaking. It's fascinating. So the person who's more analytical, when people speak numbers, that analytical part flares up. You can literally see it. You can see the number part of the brain flaring up. Other people who's more in their heart and love stories and emotions, the limbic brain will flare up. So a very good and impactful keynote and presentation will have both those aspects in there. So you have to make sure that the prefrontal cortex lit up, then the limbic brain, then the prefrontal cortex. So you actually help the whole brain to do sort of a dance. You're not only in numbers or only in heart. This is very useful for those of you who work with corporates or who present in boardrooms, because you are going to sit with the finance guy and the CEO and the COO and the OOO and the whatever there, and you have to actually explain to all, you have to get buy-in from everyone in that room, and that's why you want to actually have stats in your presentation. So make sure that you take some of your stories and some of your data and you convey that into stats and numbers, and that way you'll talk to the entire audience. Okay, then slide 5, you have to put in there proof of results. Here's another stats slide. You can't say to people, look, here I am. Look, you have to trust me now. We barely met, but you have to trust me because you have to. And my business is growing, therefore I'm going to help your business to grow. People's going to go like, yeah, right, get off stage, who's next, right? You have to give them proof. You have to give them stats. And there's where a lot of people fall down in their businesses, is that they actually don't have that stats. They have to fabricate it or they make it up. And people feel it. People are smart. Your target audience, your clients, they're smart. They know, they see through you. So I normally advise people, if you don't have the stats in your business yet, go and find industry stats. Put a white paper together or something and then illustrate that there is certain movements in industry. For example, if you do this, your sales will increase with that, as quoted by Forbes 2020. You can use that as well. So for Mike, we spoke about the prosperity in our own business to say, look, we're not only standing here and saying, do this, do this, do this. We actually use our own intelligence. So we don't just share information, we share intelligence. And my definition of intelligence is that it's been tried and tested over and over again. So for Mike, we used that one, and we also added some stats there to the guys that he used as a case study previously to help those analytical minds flare up a little bit in the audience. Okay, now we get to another way for people to trust you. Do you see the immense amount of time you have to spend for people to trust you? And I always feel sorry for a person who comes to me and say, Landi, my clients keep on rejecting me, they keep on rejecting me. There's nothing wrong with you. The only thing you have not done successfully, you've not helped here's the key word. You've not helped other people to trust you as an expert. So your issue is not sales, your issue is trust. People don't trust you. They go, oh, you're too salesy. Oh, don't think I saw where you put your pitch, you know. We're all oversold, we're saturated, right? So you could almost see it coming. You go, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch, you know. You feel the build-up coming. You're going, oh, yeah, okay, there's the pitch. So people know these things. So you really want to go here, and you want to make sure that finally you show to people that you are actually something that's very rare today, a human being with a heart beating in that chest. Yes? You want to illustrate that to people by saying, look, hey, I have case studies. I have people with faces and smiles, normal people, people who eat like you, people who go to the toilet like you, real people. People can associate with that, right? So here's real people, here's real people. Where's your real people? So this is the type of things that help people go, oh, you know, some of you in the audience will associate with Sam, some of you will associate with the title doctor, some of you will associate with David. So it just helps you to actually build that heart connection with people and see, well, you are actually working with other people. That brings us to the 7th section. There's 10 in here. Now you come up with your solution. Now you're saying to people, and now after I've spent all this time for you to help you to trust me as an expert, because I mean, you have to help your audience to get through the white noise. I mean, you're going to feel it after this 2 days. You've done this many times before. It becomes overwhelming, right? There's so much information. So you don't want to leave a conference like this with a to-do list. It's the worst thing you can do. You don't want to leave with a to-do list. If you've been making notes, you want to stop that. You want to go away from this conference with 1 or 2 things to do, and you do them right. You master them. So you want to come after this conference, and people say to you, so what are you now going to do after this conference? And you go, well, probably nothing. Then you have to go and do nothing. Think about things first. Create space in your mind. Feel it out. And if you can do that for a week, then the 1 or 2 critical, highest priority, most impactful things will sink in. Our education is wrong. Right, so now you come with the solution. Da-da-da-da-da. You can trust me now, you have a big fat problem, but guess who's here to solve that for you now? And now comes your solution. But you can't give people just one solution. You can't do that. You have to give them a multi-dimensional solution. Why? Well, this is how it works. If I was a cop and I saw a thief and I'm running after that thief, now I trip the thief, now I grab the thief, now I cuff the thief, now I take the thief to the police. Now I'm going, you thief, I don't trust you. Therefore, I have to look at you from all perspectives. Why? Because I don't trust that thief. Now, this is the basics of trust. Trust 101, right? If you struggle other people to trust you, you have to give them a 3-dimensional view of you. So now I've taken the thief to the police station. Now I'm going to take a mug shot of them. I take a mug shot from, I'll have to illustrate this. I'm going to take a mug shot from the front, but I don't trust them. So I'm going to say, turn, turn, turn. I'm going to take a mug shot from this side. And I go, no, not enough. I don't trust. Mug shot from this side. 3-dimensional, right? I now see the thieves from all perspectives. So if you allow your ideal client to look at your solution from 3 perspectives, you are helping them to trust you, right? So which 3 perspectives am I talking about? There's 3 ways you can do it. You see it on the slide. The first way you're going to get this person to actually trust you as an expert in your field and trust this solution that you're proposing now, you have to illustrate to your audience that you have monetary value for them. Meaning, you have to illustrate to them that me, with my solution, is either going to make you money or save you money, right? So you're sitting here, you're going, oh, I really want to get booked as a speaker. I want to ask top dollar. I want people to book me. If corporates are not booking you, it's because you've not illustrated to them as a speaker how you're going to make the money or save the money. It doesn't matter whether you're talking on skincare, toilet paper, or farm irrigation. You have to illustrate to them if you're going to use this skincare, which I'm speaking on, this is how it's going to save you money. Or if you're going to use my leadership tactics, this is how it's going to make you money. Your sales team's performance is going to go up or whatever. So you have to illustrate in your solution that you can either make people money or save people money. That's the first dimension of your solution. Second dimension of your solution, you'll see the little heads there. You have to illustrate social value, a sense of belonging. So that CEO who's booking you, or that audience who's booking you, they want to be cool. They want to be loved and accepted. You're not working with companies, you're working with people. That person want to feel, if I'm going to come with this person's solution, I'm going to actually be looking good in front of my executives. If I'm going to come with this person, I'm going to be looking good in front of my wife or my husband. If I'm going to take this solution, I'm going to be feeling good about myself. This is all about community and sense of belonging. So if your solution that you're proposing to an audience in your keynote do not give people that sense of belonging, they won't come. Two very good brands as an example, Harley Davidson. No one buys a Harley Davidson. Who here drives a Harley Davidson? Right, okay, so no one. So people who buy Harley Davidson buy actually a community. They buy toy runs. They buy sitting on a Sunday with other CEOs with fake sleeves on, laughing, ha 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 ha, we're so successful and we have a bike. That's why they bought it. That's why you see so many CEOs who bought a Harley Davidson on a Saturday morning. They open the garage, look at my Harley Davidson, which I never ride, close. Because they bought the Harley Davidson for an image, for a reputation, for a sense of belonging. Your solution have to have the same in there, right? Apple is another good example. If my brother can, he will go and get his tent and lie in front of Apple's doors every time there's a new upgrade. Because Apple has accomplished that with him, a sense of belonging. I'm an Apple person. I know in this room there's Keynote people and PowerPoint people. I know you don't take this lightly, right? There's a Keynote person and there's a PowerPoint person, right, Fraua? So people take these brands very serious because that means that brand has built into their solution a very big sense of community. So you need that to make your solution three-dimensional. Third one, you have to put technology in your solution. What do I mean by that? I don't mean hardware and software. I mean that process of transformation I spoke about earlier. You have to illustrate that to your client or your audience. For ultimate impact, you have to illustrate to them that you have developed a process of change. You have to put it into biteable chunks for them that they can understand. Why? Because our brains is built to resist change. Our brain is not built for change. That's why when change comes, you like this, yeah, I'm not sure, yeah, I'll grow, let's see. It's natural. And the reason why it's natural is because your brain sits every single morning and watch you. It's going, oh, let's see. Let's watch you, Ian, yep. There Ian got up. Yep, Ian just had his coffee. Now Ian's having a shower. Now Ian is going out the door. Now your brain sits the next morning. Wonder what Ian's going to do today. Ian's having a coffee, shower, going on his day. Now your brain sits the next day. Wonder what Ian's going to do today. Coffee. Now the brain, okay, I'll develop a neurological pathway. Because it's a pattern. I got that for Ian. No problem, got that, sorted out. It happens every single day, it's a pattern. So your brain picks up on all these patterns, all these neurological pathways. So your brain looks like a superhighway in there. It ain't gonna change. It's resistant to change. You have to almost physically break down some of those neurological pathways. Your client's the same. Your audience is the same. The people you're trying to influence is the same. So small, biteable steps of technology that takes them through this process of change will make them feel something in your environment, which is one of the biggest skills for you to have as a speaker in future. The ability to make people feel safe. There's nothing wrong with your sales skills. There's nothing wrong with your values. There's nothing wrong with anything but your ability to make people feel safe in your environment. Make people feel, I got your back. My solution's going to help you. I assure you, you can trust me. And if you don't have this skill in business and in your presentations, you'll find it showing up in other parts of your life. You'll find people don't trust you. Your kids maybe don't trust you. Your partner don't trust you. So this is your pointer. This is to go, right, I actually need to learn how to get other people to trust me better, and that will make your impact go up. And you want this to actually reflect in slide 7 or section 7 of your presentation. So for Mike, we gave technology there as a solution. There's other aspects in there as well where we actually brought out cases of how we make people money and save the money, how we create community with some of the projects we do around the world. But for the purposes of technology, we gave the 5-star blueprint. You don't just propose intellectual property to people, you put it into a proper piece of technology. Okay, this brings me to slide number 8. Here you now come with your offer. You want it to be one sum, an all-inclusive price, but again, you don't want to just give people one option. A lot of people go, oh, I've spoken, and now I've had a great time, and here's my offer, and now they stand there and they wait. And so when you give people one offer or one solution, you also give them the opportunity to choose yes or no. So you don't want that. You want to give them 3 things, right? So you give them a red offer, an orange offer, and a green offer. What do I mean by that? That means that some of their areas will be red, meaning it's in real danger if they don't get help. Other areas is in orange. It's not so urgent for them, but it is actually aligned with best practice. And then you have green things that gives them the low, starting offer. That's for the person who you go, look, they're doing basically everything right already. You can just help them a little bit. So you can help them a lot, you can help them medium, or you can help them little bit. You can set this up in any way you want. Just don't say to people, don't give them this choice. Don't give them this choice, the first choice. Then they can choose yes or no. Do this. Then the answer is not yes or no. The answer is, shall I go for orange or red? You see, there's not really an out. You've already decided, look, that is your choice. Do you want to go with red, orange, or green? I use this very successfully in corporate. And the way you can actually apply this when it comes to your decision point is to go and do assessments. If you're in the type of business that you can go and do assessments for free for people, that assessment will naturally pop out. You red here in your assessment, your orange here in your assessment, or your green here in your assessment. Now, your language with people have changed. You're not saying, oh, do you want to come with me or not? If a person do that to me, my natural is no, I don't want to, just because you look silly. So a lot of people feel that they miss your solutions because of that. Rather go and do an assessment for them, or give them a free assessment, or give them a quiz, or give them something that helps them to make decisions. We're in an era now where people are overwhelmed with information. So if you come to this part of your presentation and it helps them to make decisions, or you help them to see where they are in the red, where they are okay and where they are very okay, you're helping people to sift and filter through information that help them actually get to an action or a buying decision. Depends on why you're actually standing on stage. Right, that brings me to slide 9. You want to come to a closing statement here. A lot of people are so scared and freaked out by the fact that the end of the presentation should have a call to action, or you may be going to go into, your big message that you want to bring out, or you want something to happen, that they forget to have a proper closing. And a closing that we use for Mike that's very, very powerful is to use the imaginary future. Now, there's a reason why Einstein says that genius lies in imagination. I think imagination is going to be one of the biggest skills for the future. And even more bigger, if you can help people imagine what you are imagining. So I can say to you, for example, at this stage, imagine this time next year, you are traveling around the world as an incredibly well-known speaker. Imagine people are finally listening to what you have to say and taking your message serious. Imagine if because of that, you can actually get out of bed and live the purpose that you want to live, including the people you love, including the places you want to go to. Imagine you die one day and you can put your head on the cushion knowing you've used your heart and your voice to change the world. That's how you use imagine. You go and you help people imagine. You help them see. You help them feel. And this is what you want in slide 9 here. For Mike, we spoke about the ecosystem here. We spoke about what you want to aspire to. It creates a picture in your mind. And the power of imagination is immense, because if you use imagination, you help people to bring up their own visuals in their mind. Because what I imagine for myself and what you imagine are two different things. So Mike used that in his closing statement, which brings me then to slide 10. Now you want a decision. Sales has changed, and with the change in sales, impact has changed. If you want to have an impact, you can't be salesy anymore. And I'm not saying here that you want to sell something or not sell something. I'm saying you can't put people off with that type of speak and that type of manner and that type of plasticness, if you may. So you have to be very careful when you come to the end of a presentation, or when you come at the end of a massive speech that you've given to people, that you remain classy and that you don't fall into the sales pit where things become distasteful. That still means that you can get a decision. That still means that you can call people to action, all those traditional things, but you have to soften it. You have to soften it down. And traditionally, we were told a call to action means now you have to sell something to people, whereas now it's changed. You just want to take them on a journey. That's all you want to do. You just want to take people on a journey with you. How you do that? If it's your choice to do it with a click funnel, a business card, or a Chinese fan, it's all up to you, but you want to make sure that if you identify the people who potentially trust you as an expert, that after a talk, you want to take them on a journey with you. Do that in your unique way and do it as authentic as possible. So those is your structures. We use, by the way, our money train for this. We literally illustrate to our clients how you can actually start a journey with a person by taking them into the lead carriage and the trust carriage and then the love carriage, but I don't have time for this now. So I want to end with this. I built this slide for you because I want you to see what's possible. If you are willing today to admit, I always talk about the talk in the mirror, right? This is not a talk with me or with Mike or with anyone else. This is a talk in the mirror. This is after you've gotten up in the morning and you're looking in the mirror and it's time for you to shave or brush your teeth or whatever. This is a talk with yourself. This is about being honest with yourself. This is admitting that maybe your education is wrong. Maybe you are doing all the wrong things right. And I built this slide to show you that there's a world out there. There's a world of possibility out there. There's things that you can accomplish that you can't even quite fathom or imagine at the moment, just maybe because your education is wrong. How silly is that? And if you're sitting here today with a voice and you have a message to share with the world, you can go and own this world with your voice. If you would only be honest with yourself in the mirror and see that maybe there is more for you to learn, maybe there's new things for you that can take you into this world with that microphone in front of you, then your possibilities will become infinite. Thank you very much.